Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and thanks for tuning in. And so to this particular video, we're going to go over a recent tournament that I had a couple weeks back now at Smithville Lake. And I was messing with some camera settings for that tournament, trying to shorten the windows, and I kind of messed it up. So I got a couple fish catches on camera, but overall don't have a whole lot. So we're actually going to use Google Earth Pro, which is what I have open here and what you see. And I'm going to show you the lake and kind of show you the areas and my thought process on what my primary pattern was, kind of what my secondary pattern was, and then kind of the areas I caught fish and why I thought they were there. And then I'm actually be on the lookout for another video where I talk about using Google Earth Pro to kind of try to pick out some areas to go fish. I think I'm actually going to go fish Lake of the Ozarks this weekend, just a day trip up in the river. I'm going to pick out some spots on video, and then I'm going to go try to fish them on Monday and see if we can catch any fish out of those spots. So let's go ahead and jump right into Smithville Lake tournament. And if you're not familiar with Smithville Lake, it is in Missouri. It's just north of Kansas City. I think it's like 7,000 acre lake. So when we were fishing it, the water was really high. Not really high like it is right now, but definitely 3 or 4 feet above normal pool, which is fairly high for this lake. So here you can see it. It's got the two main arms. This is the main river arm. This is like secondary river arm. And so we took out of W ramp, which is here, and I pretty much stayed. I did run up here and fish, but really all my fish catches came, in the main lake here in this stretch of lake. So I started kind of back in here, ran some other pockets and things, didn't really catch any. So in practice, which you actually see a couple fish catches from practice, I actually fished these jetties. So the water was up, and I would get back in behind these jetties, and I was kind of flipping these rocks on the outside. The fish were kind of in a pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn. Like they were really, I could think they were really in all 3 stages at this point. So some really late spawners probably still out in pre-spawn. Probably the majority of the fish maybe were up spawning, and the other good portion of the fish were probably post-spawn. So I figured these little areas would catch pre-spawn, spawn, and post-spawn fish in the back behind these jetties. So the water was actually up and over the top. So you can see in this particular Google Earth screenshot that the water was down. The water was completely up, and you could see just the top of these rocks. So all of this was underwater here, and all you could get back in here too. And so I really focused and practiced on trying to find something that was a little different. I knew everybody was really going to be flipping the wood in the back of some pockets. And so I was literally looking for kind of something more off the wall that I didn't think would get hit a whole lot. So that's kind of what I found in these jetties. And you can see there's one here, there's actually one down here. You can't really see it because the water can get up behind here and behind here. There's one over here, and there's one over here, and I think there's actually one up here too that I fished. And so I was trying to kind of find something that was a little different, and like I said, I did end up catching a couple of my fish off these jetties, and it was a pretty good pattern. I had some good luck fishing in the backs of some of these pockets, like you would just think, where the fish would typically be in practice. And so I think actually 2 of my fish came on these jetties out here, and then my third fish came over here. So I did only weigh in 3. They weighed 7, something like 7 1/4-ish pounds, which is actually enough for I think 3rd place. 14 pounds and 4 fish won, and then 10 pounds I think in 3 fish was 2nd, and then I was 7 1/4 with 3. So it's pretty tough fishing actually. So it was a cold and rainy day. Water temp was like 58 to 61 degrees. The weekend before it was like 68 degrees in a couple places I was at. So it was pretty interesting weather-wise change. So kind of my thought process behind it, was maybe being able to catch fish in all 3 phases. So I actually shook a couple of fish off, practiced, and was able to go back in there and get them. So it was a good event. I think we're going to jump over to the boat now, and I'll show you the rig. Alright guys, so we're out on the boat here. So the main lure I use, Wacky Rig. Watch any of my other videos, it's pretty popular that I throw this. So the Wacky Rig setup that I like to use is a Gamakatsu G Finesse wacky head. This is an 1/8 ounce weight. It's got a titanium weed guard, which I don't know if you can see, really thin titanium weed guard. And then for the bait I like to throw probably most often is a Jackal Flick Shake, and the 6.8, and then the bluegill color. I don't know if you can see the curve. The tails on these are both curved, so that just puts off a lot of action. It's bigger bait, so it still catches bigger fish. It still catches little ones, but also still catches big ones. So the other bait that I used a little bit, I didn't catch any keepers on it, but I did catch a couple short fish on it. Was just a Texas rig Cinco. I just dipped the tail, chartreuse, just a green pumpkin Cinco when the water was a little bit clear. One thing I did do different this tournament was I did throw my wacky rig on a spinning pole, 8-pound fluorocarbon. I use straight fluorocarbon, you know, quantum reel. This is a Mojo bass, and it's actually a wacky style rod. I normally use it for a shaky head rod, but this tournament I did flip over here to use this mainly because I had the Cinco on the other rod that I wanted to throw, and so I decided to go that way. So the next tournament is going to be next weekend. It's actually 2 tournaments. It's Lake of the Ozarks and Truman, and so Truman right now is like 28 foot high and rising, so we'll see if we even fish there. It might just be 2 on Lake of the Ozarks, but they're up in the river. So we're launching at Bledsoe Ferry, which is right below the Truman Dam. So I'm going down on Monday. Today's Saturday. I'm going down on Monday to do a little bit of practicing. So be on the lookout for a practice video. Be on the lookout for a Google Earth video. And then hopefully we'll have a good tournament next weekend. And I'll put in a tournament recap video for those 2 days. So thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, comment, share the video. If there's anything that you'd like to see different, or if you have any questions about setups or anything that you want to see different, please let me know, and I'll respond. So thanks for watching.